What, what, what is up? What is up, YouTube? Hey, check this out. Orlando Brown just turned on Diddy in court. What? Hey, y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Let's see what this bad boy is all about, man. This is gonna be on the Music Recording Network stream channel. Hey, we trying to push our other channel. Y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Share a video or two, the Music Recording Network stream. I don't know what's going on with this channel, man, but this channel seems like it don't want to be recognized in the algorithm. So I'm trying to figure out a way to get this thing to work. So hit that subscribe button, baby. Hit that bell. Let's check this bad boy out. Here we go.
Diddy, you know Diddy?
Diddy,
one of my best friends.
Okay.
Right? Okay. When you want to be a Kappa, you want to be Kappa, you want to be Alpha, whatever the it is, okay? We're gonna haze you and haze you and haze you until you are a Kappa. That's what happened. People sold their souls to Diddy. And then they're mad now because the hazing process was a little bit rougher than they thought.
Los Angeles just got hotter. Orlando Brown, yep, that former TV star whose wild ups and downs have been all over social media, has officially accepted a federal subpoena to testify against Sean Diddy Combs in a major criminal case. Court documents dropped today confirming that Brown is now a key witness for the prosecution. And he's coming in hot with secret voice memos from not one, not two, but 3 weekends spent at properties tied to Diddy.
Nigga, you can't de-king a king. Why do you think I love Diddy so much? You're not gonna dethrone this man because he know how to get you there. By way of hazing you, I call it haze. And we're gonna still do this. We're gonna still do this. It's not gonna stop. Take that. It's still gonna happen. The bitch got 3 million and we're still waking up in the morning, drinking cognac, screaming, bad boy, bad boy.
According to Brown's legal team, these voice memos were recorded on a second phone he kept on airplane mode, only turning it on briefly to record his thoughts. He was apparently tracking everything from who was in the guest wing to what staff was doing late at night, even hallway movements. Federal agents say the audio files are packed with metadata that perfectly lines up with wireless router logs they already had. And get this, a sealed affidavit, now partially unsealed, says Brown's phone identifier shows up right in those restricted areas, exactly when he claimed he was there. Prosecutors say this backs up other hard evidence, like digital spreadsheets from ex-security boss Roger Bonds and smart lighting logs that show lights being manually turned off during the middle of the night.
Diddy's trying to kill me. You know, Diddy and Jay-Z, Auntie Sean and Auntie Yolanda. No matter how many contracts you try to take out on my life, no matter how many times you try to threaten my family or threaten people to stay away from me, no matter how many things you try to do to me and how many things you've tried to do to me, it ain't working. Don't play with somebody that you know got the drop.
I literally took one sip of my beverage and the whole side of my face felt like I had a stroke.
Brown's memos even caught security radio chatter using the phrase heartbeat reset, a code that allegedly means doors were cycling and cameras were temporarily dimmed. The defense team isn't buying it though. They're calling the term harmless and claim Brown's just trying to score points in an unrelated Nevada firearm case. Still, under a cooperation deal, Brown could get a break in that case if he plays ball. Orlando Brown isn't just talking. He's locked into a legal deal that demands the truth, the whole truth, or else.
I got on a plane at 5:30 a.m. So this party, I think half the people there were butt naked.
Well, it's not up to me. It's up to Mr. Combs, and I don't see it happening.
Why?
Because he believes he's innocent. He believes he's innocent, and what's more, he believes that he needs to stand up, not just for himself, for his family, and for everybody who's been targeted by the federal government.
His cooperation agreement clearly states that if he lies or even bends the truth, any shot at leniency is gone. Prosecutors say that clause proves he has every reason to be accurate. The defense? They're flipping it. claiming it shows he's just trying to save his own skin. Judge Aaron Subramanian isn't wasting time. He's lined up a short hearing to go over the chain of custody on Brown's recordings and confirmed that Brown will testify during the second week of the prosecution's case. Inside the courtroom, it's about to be a showdown of two totally different stories. Prosecutors are coming in with a slick plan. They'll play Brown's audio memos in chronological order, matching them with synced-up network visuals. Think door sensor blips and lighting shifts that move in real time with his voice. Then a digital forensics expert will take the stand to point out that the recordings are raw. No cuts, no edits, no tricks. But the defense is ready to punch back. They're bringing in a hospitality consultant who will argue that luxury estates often turn off hallway cameras to protect guest privacy, not to hide anything shady, and they'll claim the linen service receipts are totally normal for high-end events.
Well, Bill and Sade, accepting a plea agreement would mean that Sean Combs would have to admit to trafficking and force. And today he made it very clear that was not going to happen. Diddy maintained all along these encounters involved consenting adults and plans to take his chances that a jury agrees.
Isn't that, to my mind, that's one of the bigger hurdles in selecting a jury this coming week, is that there is, at least anecdotally, when I talk to people, they have that opinion, strongly held opinion, that there's celebrity tapes, that they've kind of conflated Epstein, and you mentioned Ghislaine Maxwell and all of these things into Diddy. There's this idea that somehow this is Epstein redux or something.
Outside the courtroom, the fallout has already started. Big-name talent agencies are rewriting their event safety rules, now demanding transparent phone rules, real-time exits for guests, and third-party reps who can document shady stuff without asking permission. One of the top private event insurers is even revamping their policies, asking new questions about door locks, lighting controls, and staff messages. And in a major twist, lawmakers have added Brown's name to the witness list for upcoming hearings on a new bill, the Creative Industry Guest Safety Act, aimed at funding anonymous tip lines for guests to report misconduct. The upcoming trial isn't just making headlines, it's shaking up the entire entertainment world. A proposed bill is now pushing to set minimum training standards for security crews at big events, and performer advocacy groups are applauding Orlando Brown for stepping up. They're saying his bold move proves that personal recordings can be a lifeline when official systems drop the ball. Meanwhile, Sean Diddy Combs is still locked up in federal custody waiting for his day in court. His legal team dropped a new filing today, claiming that all those changing linen orders, door sensor pings, and shifting light settings the prosecutors are hyping up, just business as usual at any high-end estate. But prosecutors fired back, saying those data points perfectly line up, down to the second, with Brown's voice memos, and that kind of match tells a powerful story. As jury selection gets closer, things are getting serious. Voir dire questionnaires have already gone out, and there's now one new question. Will knowing Brown from his TV days mess with your judgment? Anyone who says yes will be kicked off the jury, no debate. If jurors buy into Brown's story and believe his recordings are real, time-stamped proof, then the prosecutors will have something big. A first-hand account that backs up all the tech data.
What made you come here to support Puff?
I'm supporting Puff because he's innocent, and I'm wholeheartedly believing his innocence, and I know he's innocent. So,
you say you know he's innocent?
1,000%.
Mr. Combs feels A, he's innocent, which is why he's not going to plead guilty. B, he's going to be truthful about this case because he wants to portray that to the people who have loved him his whole life. And I think he also feels an obligation to people in general. Maybe it's Black people, maybe it's white people, maybe it's anybody who's ever felt aggrieved and targeted by the government. He feels an obligation to those people to say, you know what? Maybe I can break the model. Maybe I can show the world that a Black...
Hold up. Wait a minute, dude. You going way left ball. Stay on this Puffy is innocent bull crap, first of all. You got too many people pointing the finger at you, man. I must be, dude. I must be really missing something. If you think he's that innocent, I must be really missing something. But get back to this. What is he saying? What? What is your definition? That is whack.
Him his whole life.
This is
and
whack.
I think he also feels an obligation to people in general. Maybe it's black people, maybe it's white people, maybe it's anybody who's ever felt aggrieved and targeted by the government. He feels an obligation to those people to say, you know what? Maybe I can break the model. Maybe I can show the world that a black man can win, in federal court. And I think he probably is the only person I know of who might be able to actually accomplish that.
Poor thing. This boy. Oh my God. You ever heard the saying that I'm too smart for my britches? You so smart that you sound dumb. You so educated to be a lawyer that you done turned and got on the wrong side of the dumbness. You so smart that I'm so smart that I can take all this smartness and make you all, I can say something stupid to make you all feel as though he's right. The black man taking the black, what the hell is you talking about?
A black man can win, in federal court. And I think he probably is the only person I know of who might be able to actually accomplish that.
And when the judge did, Diddy, who was sitting at the defense table with his attorneys, did not show any signs of emotion. He took a sip of water before he was led out of the courtroom by the U.S. Marshals. Now, his lawyers have vowed to fight this. They are going to be back in court on Wednesday before the judge who will oversee this trial and try to get Diddy to be released.
But the defense is ready to fight hard, trying to keep Brown's past scandals from clouding what's really on trial. They'll argue this is just estate logistics being blown way out of proportion. The clock's ticking. Both sides are hustling to stay on schedule. Prosecutors say they'll wrap things up soon after Brown takes the stand. The defense hasn't said yet if Combs himself will testify. Closing arguments are on the calendar for early next month, and the jury will be left to weigh a mountain of evidence, from router logs to lighting maps, and maybe Brown's memos too. The moment Orlando Brown's corridor audio hit the courtroom, things turned real technical, real fast. Right after his subpoena was officially locked in, the trial jumped straight into the evidence phase. And leading the charge was Special Agent Lynn Rivas, the digital forensics boss behind imaging Brown's secret phone. Rivas broke it down for the jury step by step, explaining how her team cloned the phone's internal drive, generated a hash value, a kind of digital fingerprint, and made a copy they could safely analyze. That hash value? It stayed the same through every single transfer, something even the defense had to admit. But they didn't let it go. They tried to twist it, grilling her on whether there could have been any preset editing on the device. Rivas didn't flinch. She told the court that deep waveform scans revealed no signs of tampering, no splices, no edits. And the audio file's time codes? They synced perfectly with the phone's operating system logs. Once that was authenticated, prosecutors rolled out the first voice memo, dated at 1 a.m. during Brown's earliest known visit.
Now, as far as jury selection goes, I think the biggest takeaway for me is that both sides expect to have all of this done in the matter of 3 days. Now, given just how high profile this trial is, I was kind of stunned that they seem very confident that they will be able to seat a jury in that amount of time.
What happens is if people go into a trial believing the firepower on the prosecution is so strong, I mean, let's say on a scale of 1 to 100, it's a 95 that it's so strong, but it goes down to an 88. That helps the defense because everybody goes in thinking, wow, they're going to prove this and they're going to prove this and they're going to prove this. And all of a sudden, none of it's there. I think that actually helps the defense.
The courtroom went silent as the clip played. Brown whispered, "North Wing, second corridor," followed by faint radio chatter. And then it dropped. Heartbeat reset. Boom! Prosecutors froze the audio right there and threw up a matching router log on the screen. That log showed Brown's phone connecting briefly to an access point called Guest AP-N2, sending out a file header and then going dark again.
The last hearing before Sean Combs' trial starts, when he walked into federal court today, he appeared to be looking for his family. They've pretty much been at all of the hearings that I've been to, but there was no presence of his sons or his mother or his sister who had previously been at those hearings.
Do you still think that, because there is this public perception, that there are celebrity tapes involved in this case?
No.
Do you still think that there are minors involved in this case?
I'm certain no.
Okay.
And again, when you say this case, we're talking the criminal case.
The criminal case.
In the
correct.
criminal,
I know that.
In the criminal case, no.
The defense lawyer Matthew Hartley tried brushing it off, saying the phone probably just woke up to sync its clock. But Rivas clapped back. The phone had no SIM card and no saved Wi-Fi networks for automatic sync. That means someone turned it on purpose. Then the government pulled out another piece of the puzzle, a procurement ledger already confirmed by State Supply Coordinator Olivia Martinez. And just like that, the pressure in the room jumped up another notch. Things kept heating up as prosecutors pulled out a ledger showing a late-night order marked Guest Refresh with a rush code and a handwritten note that read, "Use heartbeat cart." Olivia Martinez, the state supply coordinator, took the stand and told the jury that phrase meant a special color-coded laundry cart used only in the guest wing for urgent needs. The defense tried to shake her memory, pointing out the order happened years ago, but Martinez didn't back down. She stood her ground, saying that only high-priority requests ever included the heartbeat cart. Next up, Tyler Blake, a building automation engineer who serviced the estate's lighting system. He confirmed that maintenance logs showed 4 manual overrides that weekend, all in the guest wing, and each one dimmed the lights for exactly 6 minutes. Prosecutors then hit the jury with a slick line graph overlaying those lighting dips with peaks in Brown's voice memos, and it lined up perfectly. Defense attorney Hartley pushed back, asking if maybe a stylist or photographer could have triggered those changes for aesthetic reasons. Blake admitted that technically, manual changes like that were possible, but he added a twist. Normally, a memo note would be entered explaining the override, but those 4 entries? No memos at all. Then it was time for the spotlight. Orlando Brown took the stand. Prosecutor Celia Grant started strong, asking him to confirm his voice on the memos. And Brown said, "Yes, that's me."
Back up a little bit, please.
How can you support your father?
How
do you support him moving forward?
Y'all know what this is about. Put your hands up.
It's crazy, man.
At trial, Combs will ditch the jail garb and wear ordinary clothes, as his lawyers argue the evidence shows consenting adults being intimate in their own way.
We have the latest from federal court in the Sean Combs criminal case. Status of jury selection, what Diddy's going to be wearing, violation of a gag order, rejecting a plea offer.
He told the court he handed over his main phone during check-in and was asked to sign a non-disclosure agreement on a digital tablet. But he secretly kept a second phone, saying the whole setup felt sketchy and he wanted to document things for himself. When Hartley stepped up for cross-examination, he went hard, pointing to old media interviews where Brown gave conflicting info about how many people were there and what time things ended.
Diddy's lawyers had argued that he had made good faith efforts by showing up in New York, ready to surrender to face these charges, but prosecutors said that he could not be trusted, that he has a history of trying to intimidate witnesses, including some who are going to be witnesses in this case. They urged the judge to remand him.
He knows the deck is stacked against him. They've got a ton of evidence. Take the plea deal, dude. Just take it.
Well, my guess is that, because we don't know the deal of the plea deal. At least I don't think we do.
True.
Okay.
But Brown fired back that those interviews were casual talk, not sworn testimony, while his memos were real time, backed by timestamps, and captured exactly what he was seeing and hearing in the moment. Hartley didn't let up. He zeroed in on Orlando Brown's Nevada cooperation agreement, hinting that Brown might be sweet-talking the court just to earn a break. But Brown clapped back, saying loud and clear that the deal gets shut down if anything he says turns out false. He told the jury his focus is simple. I'm here to tell it straight, not to cut deals. After a short recess, things got even more intense. Prosecutors played the second voice memo, time-stamped just after 3 a.m.
The decision guarantees Combs will face trial beginning just 4 days from now that will test whether one of music's most prolific figures used his power, wealth, and fame to exploit both women and men for decades.
Elaborate, sometimes days-long parties by coercing victims through drugs, threats, and manipulation. They claim to have video evidence, and some of the accusations echo details from over 70 civil lawsuits filed against Combs over the last 30 years.
Major developments tonight involving the case against Sean Diddy Combs, what he decided in court today, and what this now means, the move coming just 4 days before his trial is set to begin. Here's Aaron Katursky.
In it, Brown quietly describes the corridor lights shifting to a dim red pulse, calling it a running heartbeat. He adds that staff were leading small groups through a set of mirror-paneled doors. Then prosecutors dropped a visual punch. A still shot from a motion-triggered camera in a nearby maintenance hallway. It showed a housekeeper pushing a cart labeled Refresh with a timestamp landing less than a minute after the radio chatter in Brown's recording. The defense objected, saying the still frame was just repeating old information. But Judge Subramanian wasn't having it. He ruled the image could stay, saying multiple sources of evidence helped the jury connect the dots. To lock in the recording's credibility, the prosecution brought in Dr. Maya Chen, a signal analysis expert. She testified that the background sound fingerprints, like ventilation hum and faint music, matched up across all 3 of Brown's memos. That consistency, she said, proves the clips were all made in the same wing of the estate. Hartley challenged her, saying the same audio pattern could come from different hallways, but Chen pushed back, explaining that while vent noise might repeat, the combo of echo, music bleed, and HVAC rhythm pins it down to a specific layout found in the blueprints. Then came the kicker. Prosecutors played a short voicemail left on Brown's second phone. The voice, confirmed by forensic testing as a staff coordinator working under Combs, says, "We'll have the heartbeat upgraded and ready." Boom, another reference to that coded phrase. The defense jumped in, calling it vague, but the judge overruled, pointing out earlier testimony proving that heartbeat was internal lingo for lighting and surveillance tweaks.
Tonight, Sean Combs makes it official. He's rejecting the government's offer to plead guilty and spare himself the possibility of a prolonged term in prison. When asked if he turned down the offer, Combs answered, "Yes, I do, Your Honor," as he stood in a baggy beige jail uniform. Terms were not disclosed, but prosecutors did say a plea could result in a shorter sentence for Combs than if he's convicted.
Federal trafficking, racketeering, and charges beginning Monday morning.
Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs back behind bars, a magistrate judge denying him bail, saying that there were no conditions that she could conceive of that would make her confident that he would appear again for other court appearances. The judge saying, "My concern is this is a crime that happens behind closed doors."
During cross, Hartley tried to spin it, reading from a housekeeping guide that called a heartbeat glow a fancy lighting feature. But prosecutors weren't letting that slide. They clarified that the guide talks about a constant lighting setup, not the manual overrides caught in the system logs. Court wrapped for the day, but not before prosecutors revealed they've got one last card to play. They're bringing in a records analyst to tie suspicious payroll activity directly to the same weekend's Orlando Brown's memos cover. Meanwhile, the defense is gearing up to roll out a hospitality pro and an automation systems exec, both set to argue that lighting overrides and linen spikes are just normal VIP treatment, nothing shady. Judge Subramanian wasn't playing around. He told both sides to keep their closing summaries tight and on topic, warning that tech talk better stick to what actually matters in this case: no distractions, no fluff. As the trial races toward the finish, the real battle is crystal clear. Brown's voice memos, the synced-up network logs, and rush order supply records are now front and center in the prosecution's story. They say it all fits together, too perfectly to be random. But the defense is doubling down, saying it's all just coincidence. The natural chaos of running a luxury estate, not some calculated plot.
It's going to be such a massive trial, like maybe the biggest Hollywood trial. God knows which way it's going to go. Is it going to go on for weeks?
Oh, for sure, weeks.
Now it's up to the jury to decide which version holds up in a federal courtroom. If you're hooked on this case and want to stay locked in as it unfolds, hit that like button, subscribe, drop a comment below, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. See you on the next one, and trust, it's only getting deeper from here.
Man, I'm gonna let y'all know he should have took that deal. Puffy still think he making a real live movie. He think he gonna do a Hail Mary or swing at the bat and hit a home run at the end of this ball game. He don't realize that he is about to do jail time. They got 120 cases. Everybody's pointing the finger at him. You got about 5 or 6 people talking about some free Puff shirts. Kanye West talking about, and they got him on the trial. Everybody is gonna be in this trial. They got over 190 celebrities. 190 celebrities. And the feds don't just, they don't raid 3 or 4 of your houses for no reason. Deny bail over 3 times? What pictures he looking at? I don't understand, man. I don't understand. So, maybe he gonna offer a lot of people or something that we don't understand that he understand. Y'all let me know in the comments, man. Y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Take it light, take it slow. Tell them Uncle Mike told you so. Peace out.